If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is May the 26th, 2022, and today the topic is hunger and thirst for righteousness. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Overall, it was, long story short, basically, did things a little different yesterday. I ended up meeting up with an author. His name is Daryl Bird. He wanted to meet up and chat about, books and being an author and whatnot. We exchanged our books, our children books, and we met over at the New Black Wall Street. So that was very interesting to go over there as well. I mean, I had heard about it, and I know it's not far from where I live. And I had even looked into trying to get over there as a venue and whatnot. But yeah, it was interesting because, well, one, I didn't know that it was where it was. I thought it was in another part of the town. So I was very surprised to see that it was over there by the mall. And then two, it was nice. It was really nice inside. A lot of, vendors and everything like that. So, I had lunch and whatnot. Little man and I and Mr. Darrell and I, we talked about, hopefully some future books for him, as well as, my books and, the process that I went through and different things like that. It's very funny because every now and then, I call myself the plug because it seems as if people either reach out to me about, asking do I know someone for something, or I'm usually tagging people or whatever when I see a post that relates to something that someone I know does. I'll usually tag them and stuff like that. Well, I think Mr. Darrell has me beat, at least yesterday. He was calling people to introduce them to me and all these different things. We were in a show, and that was another thing as well. I know we shouted each other out on social media yesterday, and he pointed out that I hadn't seen him, or we haven't seen each other since we were in this play, and that was about definitely a few years ago. Matter of fact, it was like, if I'm not mistaken, it was the year I was going to get married, and that means it was before I became a mother and everything like that. And so, I had NJ with me. And so he got a chance to meet him and to get the book and everything like that. And so that was something that was a little different because usually, again, I'm usually hustling from home, right? So, we actually got out a little bit and did that. And yeah, and then I came on back home and maybe had a few minutes. It felt like I had a few minutes before I had to work with my acting student, and then that was it. That was the majority of what I had to do yesterday. I did push through and work out. I did my Wednesday workout, so they could praise God for that. You know what I mean? I almost didn't, but I went ahead and did it, and again, it felt good. It felt good to do it. It didn't feel strained. It didn't feel like I think the most thing about it was me getting up to do it. It was like, all right, go ahead and do it, and getting prepared to do it and whatnot. So, yeah, that was yesterday for me. Yeah. um, random little tidbit. For some reason, I felt led to start this juice today at 5:55. So that's what time I click the button to start. I was ready a few minutes prior to that, but I don't know. Something led me to 5:55. So I don't know if that's something y'all need to look up and whatnot. But yeah, 5:55. But anyway, um, aside from that, so I did prayer meditation and it was good. I don't remember it at the moment because again, I've been engulfing in my mind and different things. Because basically, after that, I did the prayer meditation. Um, the word life and then the word abundant life stood out to me, and I started looking up verses centered around that. Ultimately, I ended up starting looking up verses uh, centered around the phrase "the fruit," and that's where it got interesting because I don't know what I was expecting when I put the fruit in and was looking for verses, but I wasn't expecting what I was seeing. I'll say that, and then what I was seeing was making me wonder, why is it that we think that we can handle God's wrath? Like, why is it that we think that, we just spout out these phrases like only God can judge me in X, Y, and Z? Um, what it seems like we have no real understanding of what that means. Um, because as I was reading the verses that I was reading this morning, with me looking up the fruit um, brought to me, it was heavy. You know what I mean? It was heavy. It was gory. It was like you don't want to be on that side of God's wrath. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it doesn't look pretty. Um, so again, I don't know what possesses us as humans to feel like, you know, I don't know if did I hear this? Did I hear someone say this, or I think so, or did I read it? I can't remember. But I could have swore I either heard or read somebody say something along the lines of, uh, did they say it was an Elon Musk quote? I think it might have been a Elon Musk quote. I don't know. I don't know. But it was something along the lines of somebody saying they were okay with going to hell, basically. And it's like, you say that now, but you know what I mean? Like, what makes you think? Like, I don't know. I don't know about all that. But anyway, so that was heavy again when I was thinking about that stuff this morning. And not to say that I wasn't going to talk about it. Like, if I felt led to talk about it, then I was going to talk about it. But I don't know. I decided to just kind of clear my mind and whatnot. And the interesting thing was, so I'm clearing my mind, right? And I can't remember. I think some things was coming in my mind, but eventually, uh, my my stomach's all in growling, and I was like, okay. Then I'm clearing my mind, clearing my mind, clearing my mind, and it growls again. I'm like, okay, okay, stomach growling, you know, and the word hunger. I'm like, okay, hunger, um, and then I was like, I don't know if I can look up growling, but maybe. And I'm still trying to clear my mind, and then it does it again. And I was like, okay, fine. And so I started looking up verses centered around hunger, and then ultimately led me to hunger and thirst. And here we are. Here we are, man. Hunger and thirst for righteousness. Y'all can let me know if y'all appreciate me explaining to y'all how I get to these different topics. If you want to, comment below, those that are watching live, and send me a message or leave a comment or something if you're listening to the podcast somewhere. Let me know what y'all think of that, because I mean, I guess I added that in to just kind of show that I guess God can speak to us through anything. I guess that's one reason I added in. But then also just to share how I get to the topics and whatnot, and where they come from and whatnot. Because yeah, it is as simple, like in the juice, I wrote like one way to I guess hear from God, right? And that's by literally like kind of studying whatever comes to your mind. But yeah, I mean, sometimes again, as I share these things with y'all, y'all see that it goes in this like roundabout journey. It's not like sometimes it's automatic, and then sometimes it's like one thing leads to another thing that leads to another thing that ultimately gets me to whatever I end up sharing with y'all. So either way, man, get into the word, listen to God. This ain't the time to be playing. I don't believe, like, I feel like, again, if you don't see Bible unfolding around us all day, every day, then I don't know, man. I think you might be one of those blind people that the Bible refers to, that has the scales over their eyes, because it's real out here. Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to this conversation. So, Matthew 5:6 says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied." So, hunger and thirst for righteousness. Yeah, we hunger and thirst for a lot of things, but do we hunger and thirst for righteousness? Um, I mean, do you want to be blessed, friend? Because, I mean, that's what we should be hungering and thirsting after. Um, because that's what's going to be satisfied according to the word. That's what it says here. Um, the other hungers and other thirsts don't necessarily get satisfied. I mean, again, I think I've shared my testimony about, my own encounter with that. Like, always reaching for this goal that is unattainable, or feeling as if I'm, doing everything I can but still not satisfied. Um, so yeah, I mean, but I can say on the other side, as I focus on, I guess, righteousness and the things of God, um, I have been satisfied. I've been very satisfied. Even so much so where, again, y'all heard me say it too. It's like, I'm content, Lord. I'm content with where you have me. Even though I know there's other goals, there's other dreams, there's other things on my mind, X, Y, and Z, but I am very content. I'm very thankful and grateful to be in the place that I am in. So, uh, yeah, that's what that first verse reminds me of this morning. But let's keep going and seeing what else the Bible has to say. So Luke 6:21, it says, "Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you shall be satisfied. Blessed are you who weep now, for you shall laugh." Well, um, y'all can confirm that if that was now. I think it was, but it looked like I wrote none because that's how I write. But anywho, um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, yes, this goes without saying that this reminds me of the tragedy from the other day. And I know there's lots of families weeping and whatnot. And we are sensitive to them, right? Because we talked about that yesterday and everything like that. But I hope that it is encouraging and inspiring to know that, on this side, we're gonna have the last laugh, uh, as they say. And yeah, yeah, we might be hungry now, right? We might be weeping now, but according to the Bible, we will be satisfied and we shall laugh. So I hope that can be encouraging and inspiring to anyone that's listening to the sound of my voice today. Um, if you're in either one of those positions. But let's keep going. Luke 1:53, it says, "He has filled the hungry with good things, and and the rich he has sent away empty." Ooh, that might be Pope. That might be Pope if you the rich, right? um, but I mean, again, we see that, right? We see the examples of that all around us again, because just judging by what people say, I just put it like that. Judging by what these quote unquote rich people say. If you listen to these interviews, if you're seeing like these different suicides and all these different things that happen among the rich, right? Um, but in the quote unquote poor or the hungry, you can see some of the most, not say just beautiful people, but um, faith-filled people, joyful people. It reminds me of a conversation I had with a previous guest on GSL, and she was talking about the people in Haiti. Um, usually when you hear things about Haiti, you just only hear like, you know, poverty and all these different types of things. But on the flip side, I've also seen where when people talk about Haiti, they talk about like this culture and these beautiful people and beautiful smiles and faith and all these different things. And so, um, yeah, again, I guess this should change our perspectives on riches, right? Who is really rich? Is it the rich person that has all the money and you know has, not say has no soul, but and commits suicide and all these different things, or is it the poor person that has faith in God and exudes joy? Who's rich here? Um, but anyway, let's keep going. Isaiah 55:2. It says, "Why do you spend your money for that which is not bread, and you labor for that which does not satisfy? Listen diligently to me and eat what is good, and delight yourselves in rich food." Um, I mean, obviously, again, I automatically thought about like the phrase soul food when I was writing this verse down this morning. But yeah, I mean, obviously we think about, food that we eat, X, Y, and Z, but spiritual food is important. All right, feeding our spirit is important. I know I had a gentleman that I mentioned in the cultivation period. um, I mentioned that encounter, or I tell the whole encounter in the book, but basically, um, the gentleman that kind of got me thinking about this whole aspect about the spirit man versus the physical. Basically, it's like he reminded me at that time is that there's a battle going on all the time, and what's going to win is what you feed, right? So if you're feeding your spirit, then your spirit man is going to win this battle, and vice versa. If you're not feeding your spirit, then uh, well, technically, the physical is going. I would say it's going to overwhelm you. The things, earthly things, right? So yeah, man, you all can go deeper. We can all go deeper with this. I mean, there's more verses to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. They are in the go deeper section. So by all means, check those out to go deeper about this conversation regarding hunger and thirst for righteousness. Uh, but yeah, that's the juice this morning. That's the juice. But the Bible verse of today is John 14:1. It says, "Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Everyone is stuck at home, but life is still happening around us every day. Birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and celebrations. Send your friends and family the gift of wine from the comforts of home. Wine shop at home with Miracle of Wine. Wine, gift baskets, wine accessories, and more at miracleofwine.com.